Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Dr. Cammy and Karen Go Keto, where Cammy and I are on our way from a standard American diet to a transition to a ketogenic slash carnivore diet. And today we're talking about one of the tools that support people in this transition, and that is joining a community of like-minded souls. And the carnivore community is very, very active on YouTube. I listen to at least one person's YouTube video every day, every morning to be motivated to stay on track. And besides the YouTube community, a lot of people have Facebook groups or they have memberships, but we're going to talk a little today about I'm going to run over some that are quick, and then Cammy's going to go into some details about dates. But Carrie Mann, who was very instrumental in me wanting to go carnivore, has Healing Humanity, a documentary that he's making, and he started a membership group. And a lot of people that are in Carrie Mann's documentary, I think the main guy behind the movement is Dr. Ken Berry, who is in Tennessee, and I believe he's got a membership, and they both do live videos, they both do live presentations on YouTube every week. Dr. Kilts, Mighty Tribe, I'm a member of his. That's a free membership, and that's nice that it's free. Richard Smith in England, Professor Bart Kay in, I think, New Zealand, actually. Rena, I don't know how you say her name, Ahuwalia, is Primal Podcast. Used to be 5 Minute Body, and I think now it's Primal Podcast. She was just interviewed by somebody. Richard Smith is Keto Pro. He's got an excellent story. He, I believe, is in Scotland or Wales, but somewhere in the UK. And a lot of these places have meetups. So Healing Humanity, Carrie Mann, he's got a lot of meetups, and a lot of those speakers are Dr. Kilts and Bella, Steak and Butter Gang, Steak and Butter Gal, and Lisa Wiedemann and Dr. Annette Boz. I believe they also have memberships or monthly coachings, and Kelly Hogan. Those are the me, Anthony Chaffee, and Dr. Tony Hampton in the Chicago area. And they're all very interesting. They're all great channels to go to. Cammy and I are registered to go to um, the the meetup in Boston at the end of Boston, July 28th, I believe, 27th,
June 28th.
June 28th. And we are also registered to go to the Low Carb USA, which is also now the Metabolic Health Symposium.
Symposium for Metabolic Health.
And that is going to be August 14th. Now, there's one fun one where they have cabins, and it's probably like 16 speakers, all the people I just listed. And that was Meatstock, that was last weekend. And the Meatstock coming up in 2026, which I think Cammy and I are going to register for, that's in Tennessee, like around Gatlinburg. I think that's hosted by Dr. Ken Berry, and or he's instrumental to its creation. And that is going to be the first week of May, I believe. The first weekend in May, like the 5th or so. Anyway, Dr. Kilts
2026 next year. So
in 2026, yeah.
We're planning to go to that.
All right, so Cammy's going to give you some more dates, and I'm going to fill in whatever she might not tell us about.
Well, actually, I don't have more dates because I think you gave all the dates that I was thinking of doing, that I was thinking of talking about. But, we are going to be going to the Boston meetup. That's going to be next month on the 28th. So, we have tickets for that. Karen's going to be flying out here to San Diego for August. We have tickets and we're rolling for that, for the Symposium for Metabolic Health, August 14th to the 17th. That's a great symposium. It's going to be at the Hotel Del Coronado this year. They usually have it at the Wyndham Bayside. So we're going to see how that goes with a new establishment. And they are going to have the first day, they always devote the first day to a particular subject and topic. And this year it's going to be on neurological conditions. And so they're going to talk a lot about ketogenic diet with neurological conditions, and imagining they would probably hit some psychological conditions in there too, along with it, and how the carnivore diet is so helpful for that. I'm sure there are going to be people talking specifically about carnivore in the treatment of neurological conditions. So we're looking forward to that too. And So yeah, and then we're already planning to sign up for the May 2026. So the reason why we're bringing this up is because this is really important to look at as, like Karen said, a source of support to support you in your carnivore diet and lifestyle. And Karen is more devoted to this and much more aware of all the people that are involved than I am. And so that gives me something to work toward. And I'm going to ask Karen as we record if you might be willing to ship me the videos that you're watching on Carnivore in the morning.
Sure.
Because if you just, if it's easy enough for you to just ship it over to me, then that way we can be watching the same videos every day and I'll just have to catch them. Well, yeah, you could. What time do you watch? Because I'll be earlier and I get up early. So you could just ship them to me,
Well,
at
Dr. Kilts, so Dr. Kilts is behind Carrie Mann, Dr. Kilts. I think it was actually Dr. Kilts who inspired Carrie Mann to say, it's the stories, it's the sharing of our stories that are really going to get the carnivore movement moving and alive and keep it alive. And so Dr. Kilts is interviewing people, Richard Smith at Keto Pro. I don't remember what, oh, and how could I forget Dave Mack? So anyway,
yes, yes.
telling the stories of everybody's healing journey because everybody's healing something different. Dr. Kiltz is usually live once a day. He is a strong believer in, like, he's probably the firmest person that I know that is committed to the carnivore patients. So Healing Humanity, if you go to healinghumanity.movie/events, he's got a list of his meetups, and June 7th is going to be in Seattle. And that's going to be Lash, Anthony Haydock, Adam Lacey, Carrie Mann, Sean Baker, Robert Kiltz, Dr. Sean Baker, Dr. Robert Kiltz, Bella from Steak and Butter Gang, and then Dr. Nelson. And Dr. Baker and Bella kind of teamed up to do some educational videos that you can find online. Dr. Kiltz in the morning, he does a 6 o'clock live almost every day, at least a few times a week. And he and Dr. Nelson and Dr. Kiltz, they are creating a coaching community. Some of these other people have coaching communities, but that's June 7th in Seattle. And then Healing Humanity, Carrie Mann owns a movie theater in central Podunk, Wisconsin, which is like, I think just about an hour north of Madison, which is, I think, about 3 hours north of me. And on July 26th at his movie theater in Wisconsin is going to be Dr. Kiltz. That's July 26th. The 4th of July is going to be Bozeman, Montana. There's a meetup with, I think Dr. Kiltz is going to be there. And I think it's going to be, why can't I think of his name? Bachness is his last name. And I think Bella is going to be there. I think, oh, that's the Steak and Butter Gang. That's the first Steak and Butter Gang is the 4th of July in Bozeman, Montana. And that would be really fun. I'd love to go to that because Tim and I were actually in Bozeman, Montana for the 4th of July about 6 years ago. And it was a good time was had by all. And then September 12th is something called Low Carb for Better Health event hosted by Amanda Decker. I can't recall where this is, but this is Andrea Salcido, Dr. Ken Berry, Craig Emmerich, who is Maria Emmerich's husband, Autumn Weathers, Nisha Berry, which is Dr. Berry's wife, and she's a nurse, Robert Sykes, who is Keto Savage, he's a bodybuilder, Tracy McBeath, David Diamond, Amanda Decker, Dr. Philip Avadia, who is a heart surgeon, carnivore heart surgeon. Stay Off My Operating Table is his book, and Dr. Mark Cucuzella. And I think, Cammy, Dr. Mark Cucuzella, we saw him speak at the Low Carb USA in 2023. I think he was not carnivore at the time, and he kind of made a comment that maybe he would be, but that might not have been the same guy. Anyway, that's that calendar. Lisa Wiedemann, if you go to her Carb Sober Cruises, I think is her, Dr. Lisa Wiedemann. She does cruises and she's doing some retreats. Maria Emmerich does retreats, and there's a retreat in Spain that looked very enticing. But the idea of staying in this conversation, because it's a place where you're eating and speaking, right? At the Healing Humanity, they have people tell their stories and how they transitioned and why they transitioned. This Lash guy who is going to be at that June one that I mentioned, he, I think, had eczema over 90% of his body. He just wanted to die. He was in so much pain, daily pain from eczema that healed. Doctors could not heal him for decades or a decade. And then he found carnivore and that healed him within weeks. And Dr. Richard, he's not a doctor, I don't think, Richard Smith in the UK, he had blinding migraines. And Dave Mack, of course, had the stroke when he was 17. Everybody's got a different chronic ailment that's been healed. And to me, it just seems like a no-brainer. If you can heal everything, if everything is healed because people have gone carnivore, it's the way, right? It's not, what happened is we went from eating carnivore and then we started adding the stuff in. And as our bodies adjusted, right? Now, first you get headaches, and then maybe you get depression, or you don't notice you get depression, or you get clumsy and you don't realize that your clumsiness is caused by the fact that you're
low
eating.
energy.
Yeah, you're tired, you have fatigue, you're irritable. And if that's not enough for your body and you keep feeding it the sugar, then you're going to get diabetes or pre-diabetes and then
Get all your
diabetes,
skin conditions,
your eczema, some more severe
psoriasis.
depression, or, then now you're critically destabilized, your whole body from, you can't go out, or your bowels don't work. Pretty much everything. Cancer, Dr. Thomas Seyfried, cancer is a metabolic disease. Now I think his talk is the mitochondrial metabolic cancer link or something. He's going to be talking at the Boston Meetup. So if you have an interest in cancer and eating, as Dr. Seyfried says, they've been working on trying to cure cancer for decades using genetics as the jumping off point, and it has not worked. Cancer rates are going higher and higher. Death rates from cancer are going higher. And what Dr. Seyfried has proved is stop feeding it sugar. The test to see if people have cancer is to give you a dose of sugar, have you drink sugar, and where then they look at a scan of your body, and where the activity is tells you where the cancer is.
It's pretty amazing stuff.
Because the cancer is looking for that sugar to keep its cells alive.
So this is just a summary of just, trying to convey to you the importance of staying in a community and kind of like submersion, because when you go there, like when we go to the meetup, we're going to be meeting with people that they're going to talk all day. And then we bought the VIP pass. So we're going to go to a carnivore restaurant. We're going to be eating all kinds of wonderful, delicious food, carnivore keto restaurant. And I'm sure they'll have some vegetables and things there too as options. And you get to eat with the speakers. And then you go back and you do some more lectures and things. So it's kind of like you're submerged into it for the whole day. And then when we go in May of 2026 to Tennessee, we're going to be submerged in it for a full week. So it's just a way to keep yourself connected, like Karen said. And there's an abundance, listening to Karen talk about all the speakers that are available and all the conferences that are available. And there's cruises and there's retreats and there's things for one day or there's things for a week. There's all kinds of different options for us to do to try to keep ourselves involved in carnivore and in eating this healthy lifestyle that's been starting to show, with multiple people in multiple places, success in treating all different kinds of diseases and issues.
But yeah, we didn't even talk about PCOS, right?
Infertility and all the hormonal things that happen that get back on track. People's thyroids get, back on track. And yeah,
And I think that why carnivore is so effective is because you're adding that fatty meat, and the fatty meat has all the nutritional requirements that all in one food, right? Fatty meat has everything that your body needs for nutrition,
all
except
the
for
essential
possibly,
amino
but
acids.
yeah,
And
except for maybe vitamin D, but you can't you got to get that from the sun more or less. So, and supplementation is not as effective. It's not bioavailable, right? So you can pop all the pills you want, but if your body's not absorbing it, it's not. And part of it is eating plants is a counter effect of what's going on in your body, right? So you may be eating healthy meat, but if you're eating a carrot or cruciferous vegetable, let's say you're eating, cauliflower, the mashed cauliflower is going to put up blockers in your enzymes to not let the nutrients of the meat get into your body. That's one of the problems. That's why they say don't eat vegetables. That's why they're saying your vegetables are going to kill you.
And that's very counterintuitive to what we've been taught, right? Eat your
Right,
vegetables, don't eat your sweets. People pretty much know that. But
right.
a lot of people really don't understand the inflammatory properties and of the vegetables and how they are counterintuitive to the
And
benefits of the carnivore diet.
and let a lot of specialists in the medical community, they know. It's like if you have a thyroid issue, the first thing they say is don't eat the goitrogen vegetables, which are your cruciferous vegetables, your broccoli, your cauliflower, your Brussels sprouts. Don't eat those because those affect your thyroid. Right? When you have IBS, they say stop eating grains because the grains are they make your gut lining
Your leaky gut.
leaky guts. There's in every single instance, there's a specialist that'll tell you to stop it. But the carnivore movement is stop it all and just eat healthy meat and you'll be on a good path. But the other thing is there's low carb down under. So if you want to go to Australia, you can go down there. The UK has something in metabolic health that's just coming up maybe this weekend even. And I don't think I've seen too much in Asia, but Dave Mack is headquartered in Asia, in Japan.
All right. So there you have it.
All right,
Carnivore
everybody.
galore.
There you go.
Bye.